Hello, darlings. It's almost Easter, and I absolutely love Easter. It's a very special time of the year for me, and so of course I had to make something to celebrate this season. So we're going to be making some hot cross buns in my very particular style. When I say that, what I mean is we're going to infuse some Fijian flavor into this. I wanted to find a way of bringing in the flavors of the food of our major communities into this beautiful bun. So I decided to make something between a lolo bun and an Indo-Fijian sweet. So this has the dense, beautiful richness of a lolo bun or a coconut cream bun, and it has those hints of those sweets that we used to buy from those carts around suva after school. If you've grown up in Fiji, if you've been to Fiji, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the process for this is that we will combine our dry ingredients and our chopped up fruits. We are going to be using pineapple and dried ginger instead of using the traditional sultana raisin situation. We're going to use flour, caster sugar, dry yeast, salt, and for our spices, we're going to use nutmeg and cinnamon, but we're going to be emphatically cardamom for it, because that lovely, gorgeous warmth of cardamom really is what makes Indo-Fijian sweets and desserts so particularly identifiable. While we bring our dry ingredients together, we're just going to warm up some coconut milk and some ordinary full cream dairy milk on the stove. We're just warming it up. We're not boiling it because we don't want our yeast to die. But of course, before we bring that milk mixture over to our dry ingredients, we're going to add in first some butter and some egg. Now, the quantities for all this are in the caption, and of course, a full recipe is on my Substack. We take our dough out of our mixture and onto our bench. We're going to flatten it out, and we're going to add in half of our desiccated coconut and half of our pineapple and ginger, kneading it thoroughly by hand before adding in the second half of exactly those same ingredients. Keeping in mind that this has been kneading for about 10 minutes in our mixture, so we just want to bring it all together, making sure that all of the beautiful ingredients are lovely and incorporated into our dough before putting it into an oil bowl and leaving it for about an hour and a half to rise. We want this to double in size before we punch it down, and we give it another quick knead, and then we're going to divide this out into either 8 generous Fiji size hot cross buns or 12 standard size hot cross buns. It's completely up to you. Obviously we did 8. Put that into a lined baking dish and then allow it to proof a second time for about 45 minutes. While that's happening, we're going to mix together our cross paste, which is just half a cup of sugar and 5 tablespoons of water. It needs to be thick like this, into a piping bag. Here we go. They are lovely, puffy, and delicious, and we're going to pipe this on and then straight into the oven, 160 degrees fan force, for about 30 to 35 minutes. Towards the end of the baking process, I also want to glaze these with a lovely coconut glaze, which is really simple. 2 tablespoons of coconut milk, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of water. Bring it all together until it's all melted and lovely and glossy. And as soon as your buns are out of the oven and lovely and hot, we're going to brush these beautiful buns with this gorgeous glaze, giving it some dazzle and pop, but also some really delicious sweetness. While they were still warm, we cut them in half and slathered them with salted butter and just enjoyed them. They were so delicious. Even Zuko got a bite because he's a good boy, and it's a season for celebration. A blessed Easter to you and your loved ones.